Everyone, it's Matt from Guitar World. We're at NAMM 2025 in the Dumble room. I'm here with Drew. Drew, thanks for spending the time with us.
Welcome, guys. I'm glad you're here.
This is a really special room. Can you
Thank
just
you.
walk us through kind of what we've got on here?
Well, we have the Dumble Preservation Society. Since Mr. Dumble passed, we promised him that we would keep his legacy alive, and a lot of it was legal problems that he had that we straightened out. So we felt we should come to NAMM and let people see part of his world and some of his amps, and these two are the amps that are the continuation of what he did to his specs. But some of the things here were very special to Mr. Dumble. We'll start with this one. This is called Woody. This is a 50-watt amp that's not channel switching. It's called a small special, is what he called it, not an overdrive special. But this particular amp, Mr. Dumble used to loan to a lot of celebrities, and it's been on stage and backstage and in tune-up rooms and in the recording studio with many people. I took it to Carlos Santana to use before he had this for a while. So this was not quite a loaner, but to the special people when Mr. Dumble was building their amp, and it would take a while, sometimes he would loan them this. So a lot of people are familiar with this. It sounds great. Master volume, but no switching. So this is Woody. This is a special amp. In New York, I'm not sure exactly what year, but Stevie Ray Vaughan was playing in New York, and he had both of his steel string singers that Mr. Dumble built for him stolen. And so he was panicking, contacted Mr. Dumble. He took this amp that was already built and converted it to a steel string singer for Stevie, and he labeled it Steel String Singer on the back. And in this process, we have in our archives all the paperwork and letters going back and forth from Mr. Dumble to Stevie Ray Vaughan, which is really nice. But this sounds great, and it's kind of the Stevie Ray sound. And so Dumble would treasure this thing. This was very special to him. We wanted to bring it to have them feel the Dumble vibe. This is a #1 overdrive special. This is this amp right here. You can see it's been around a little bit. This thing sounds great. It's a little primitive, and it's wonderful sounding. It's got an original Altec in it. Before he switched to EVs, he was using Altecs. So this mighty little amp has seen a lot of sessions, a lot of touring. It was his personal amp. A lot of people would contact him that were in the studio cutting records. So a lot of solos that you've heard through the years were done on this amp. So this is one of his first overdrive special, and very special one. We have Robin Ford's amp. So when Robin moved, he had 2 amps that Mr. Dumble did for him, and my partner Matt Swanson, who we control the Dumble brand with, Mr. Dumble contacted Matt, said, "Matt, you're buying Robin Ford's amp," and they worked out a deal. And Mr. Dumble loved Robin. He was a very special guy, and he is a very special guy, and so they both wanted it to go in the right hands, so we ended up here with Matt. So this is Robin's amp. This is a Marshall that he did for Michael Doyle, who you met. This is him working on it. It's a Marshall Major that he completely rebuilt and put a mod on it. It's really an amazing sounding Marshall. And Michael took these pictures. Michael was a Marshall for a while and did the Marshall book. So it was special for Mr. Dumble and Michael. So we've got this one. This is an overdrive reverb. This is called the Star Wars amp. All the technology that Dumble had through the years have been put into this amp recently. This is one of the last builds that he did. And so this thing sounds incredible. It's a reverb. You can dial in the reverb. It's got separate tubes for the reverb and tone control for the reverb. This amplifier I had Mr. Dumble do for my partner from the Burst Brothers, Dave Belzer, and Dave kept it for a while, and it was a little too much for him. He wasn't doing big. It's 100 watts plus, and so he gave it to me, and I sold it to Carlos Santana. Before Dave got it, this was Larry Carlton's amp. And so Carlos used this for 10 years. He put his picture of Christ here, and you can see where that's worn out. He had it glued to there. And when I came to pick this up, his road crew was really disappointed that he was getting, they loved this amp. So my associate Taylor Barefoot right here was with me during this thing, and when he heard how important this was to the Santana camp, he bought it. So he owns this amp right now. And this is a special amp as well, because it was Larry's, Carlos's, and so on. So then we come to these. So after Mr. Dumble passed, we had an attorney that was trying to secure all of the legal copyrights, trademarks, all of that. And in the process, he was able to do it, but it was getting ready to run out. So I go, okay, well, renew it. And he goes, okay, that's fine, but what product do you have? And I go, what do you mean product? He goes, well, you have to have product. You have to build something and sell it in order to keep the trademark. I'm like, whoa. And so I was thinking what Mr. Dumble would think of me doing that, because I never tried helping him with amps. I just played while he was dialing. I'm not an engineer. I don't know how to build amps. It wasn't my thing. Maybe that's why we got along so well, Mr. Dumble and I. But anyway, he goes, well, if you don't do it, then anyone can grab this and do it. So we got in touch with Mr. Dumble's technical friend that's an amp guy here in Orange County that Mr. Dumble trusted. And I asked him if he would help us build a couple of these to keep the trademark, and he did. This was actually the last amp that Dumble was working on before he passed, and it had some of the controls in it. He had started the build but didn't finish it, so we finished the build on this. This is an EL34 model called a Blues Master, so it's a little more Marshall sounding, very warm. So we finished this first. And we built this completely ground up without using any of Mr. Dumble's parts or anything. We made the chassis and we supplied all the parts for it. And this is the second one that we made. This is a 6L6, more like Robin's and Larry's. And once they completed them and dialed them in and took their time and really perfected them, and I plugged into them, I felt really good about it, because I wouldn't want to put Mr. Dumble's name on something that wasn't the best. So I felt good that it was worthy that we can put the Dumble name on it. And so then we decided to come here and show people what we're doing. So that brings us to here.
That's great. I mean, this is an amazing room. I mean, is this kind of the start of kind of more amps coming out, or is it very much like just kind of as and when, really?
We're here to get feedback and what people want. There'll probably be more. And we have enough parts to take care of Mr. Dumble's clients that he built amps for through the years. So we've been maintaining them and servicing them. So all the Dumble users that are there, they know me, and we've serviced 50 amps.
Oh, wow.
So far in the last 3 years. So people are very happy. We did Robin Ford's other amp, and so we're able to do that. We have enough parts to replace things. If anything wears out or goes bad, we can replace it. So we're keeping that part of what Mr. Dumble would want to do, what he used to do, and we're just trying to preserve his legacy and do the best we can to keep the trademark. And it's been it's a great process. We've had such wonderful feedback here at the show. A lot of people love his tone and his sound and his work, and the people that knew him loved him. His niece Angela's here, and she kind of got choked up coming into the room seeing him and his stuff. So it's been a great experience for us. But I'm glad you guys are sharing it with us.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having us. Really appreciate it.